r/ask Reddit. If you had 30 minutes to hide from a nuclear blast, where would you go? I'd always heard a basement of a library is good, because books may absorb some radiation. Make sure you don't break your glasses. There was time now. It's just not fair. Mayo, this is perfect. Well, at least I have my books. As a book nut with glasses, that episode really hit me right in the feels. The Eisenhower Tunnel on I-70 in Colorado, 1.7 miles long unless it turns into Stephen King's The Stand. I'm in Colorado, so good to know. I just figured I'd go towards mountains, I guess. Sort of planless in this situation though. Going into the mountains is a great idea. There are a ton of USAF strategic assets in Colorado that would be prime targets for an enemy nuclear strike. A lot of our space capabilities are based there, as well as some nuclear assets, all of which I would expect to get hit. And none of them are really deep in the Rockies or anything. If you're within a mile or so of a strike, regardless of whether you're underground or not, you're fricked. So just going underground wouldn't cut it. Mountains provide a great shield to blast waves, though. And it's extremely hard to hit the valleys between them. You're basically in a global scaled trench. I work at a nuclear pharmacy which has dosimeters, Geiger counters, potassium iodide tablets, Radiac spray, PPE and lead, and the break room office is an extra vault that was made to house a particle accelerator, known as a Cyclord of the Rings on. I'm at work right now. So, assuming I'm safe from the initial blast radius, I'd probably go sit at my desk, scroll through Reddit and watch the world end. Cool. What's Radiac spray? Think like Radaway from Fallout. Today I learned Radaway is real. I would probably go to the bank and ask to go to where I stored valuables. Rob's bank put me and ALLL the money in the vault, then shut the door. I am seeing a flaw in this plan. Hello? Anyone? Here we see the remains of an ancient humanoid, buried in an elaborate and secure vault with the many treasures of his life. This level of wealth suggests perhaps a local governor or even a pharaoh. We weren't aware of this level of class stratification in the Americas at that time, so this discovery throws new light on the political discombobulation of the early 20th century. Imagine eating $100 bills to avoid starvation in a pitch black room for a week. The nearest city is over 30 miles away, and it's all open country from where I am and for at least another 10 miles to the mountains in the other direction. Either I'd jump in the truck and try to make it to the mountains through the res, or crawl under the house and hope for the best. Probably best to just hunker down. At that distance, you shouldn't be in the kill zone. Maybe a shockwave will blow out your windows. Best to hunker down and seal up the place so Fallout can't get in. Then you just wait a few weeks for the major radiation to die down. There is an old building near me that has a basement. I know what boards to move to get into the basement from the outside. It's the only building I know of within about 100 miles that is entirely reinforced brick masonry with a basement, and I'm sure I'd spend the apocalyptic event chatting with several homeless people who also know about the board. We'd all survive though. Right answer. This is how my mom's friend's son survived Hiroshima. He was taking a break in the basement when the bomb hit. His co-worker classmate who was still outside was severely burned and later died. I saw some old civil defense stuff from the 50s that suggested doing the same thing. People survived less than quarter mile from Air Zero at Hiroshima just by being inside concrete structures, like the Bank of Japan building. The simple earthen shelters that dotted the city would have been adequate to save many lives, had the population not been desensitized to air raid warnings. How long did they have to stay inside? I have a bathroom in the basement with no windows where we could hide for a while. To avoid radiation poison, as long as humanly possible. Key is to shower and change clothes to get the initial fallout dust off you. There's a building at the college I work at that goes 80 feet underground and has 6 foot thick inward sloping concrete walls. I'll be in there. Why is there such a bunker at a college? My university was previously an Air Force base, so one of our buildings is literally a repurposed bunker. Got a big O lane mister in there? I've been in a room like at my university. It's literally built to shield from as much external radiation as possible to make the measurements more accurate. Would definitely double as a bunker. Not my pick though. I have claustrophobia, first cousin of claustrophobia. I ain't getting stuck underground in a thick concrete coffin, no thanks. Claustrophobia. I didn't realize this was a phobia until you posted. I always just said I was claustrophobic, but reading what claustrophobia means, it explains my fricked up dreams way better. For the lazy, here's the definition. What is a claustrophobia? Claustrophobia, the fear of being trapped, is often confused with claustrophobia, the fear of enclosed spaces. Claustrophobia is related to winter phobias due to the potential risk of being trapped underneath a snowdrift or thin ice. Hide? I ain't getting drafted for WW3. This bomb gonna send me. There would be no draft. World War III would be over in about 30 minutes. I would find the nearest elementary school and hide under one of the desks. Anyway, that's what we were taught when I was in elementary school. Duck and cover. Subway system, sewer system, underground basically. Metro 2033 intensifies. Our time. It's good to see you. Here's 3 bullets and a gas mask. That should be everything you could possibly need. Oh, and don't forget to collect filters everywhere you go. Or suffer. Man, I love the Metro series. You'll be one of the ghouls. I'd always be worried doing that. You would be safe from the blast, but risk being buried alive. Oh god, did I miss something in the news today? No, not that I know of. Just was playing Fallout and thought of that. My man. No, but don't give 2020 any more ideas. To bed for a 30-minute nap. Jack off and nap. Might as well make it a personal day. Like when everyone in Hawaii thought they were going to get hit by ballistic missiles. Oh wow, I had completely forgotten. I'd probably climb up onto my roof with a lawn chair and a cold beer and watch everything go to it. Can't watch once you're blinded by the initial blast. I'll bring sunglasses. You got me there. To the liquor store, so I could hide from my problems the way I always do. My man. I'd love to join you. Under the blankets. Nothing can get you under there. Nothing, including the air that I need to breathe after 5 minutes. Source. Was once a child. Honestly love this. Me too. Breathtaking comment. Don't forget to bring along some cookies and warm milk circa. Just hold the milk outside the blankie for a minute. It will heat up nicely. This actually happened to me. Sort of. My wife and I were in Hawaii, near Pearl Harbor, in 2018 when the ballistic missile alert showed up on my phone. Seek immediate shelter. This is not a drill, it said. For a minute I thought it was fake, but why take the chance? I'd lived in Hawaii before and decided to get as far away from Pearl Harbor as I could before mass panic set in. I drove east towards Kaneohe. There's a tunnel through a mountain and I stopped in the middle. We were the second car to stop and within a few minutes the entire tunnel was full. After about 30 more minutes a friend of mine in Kaneohe texted that it had been mistake. He'd had his wife lie down in the bathtub while he watched the TV4 updates. It was a pretty frightening experience. Yes, I remember this day also. I was about to head to the beach with some friends for a barbecue and I was telling my parents goodbye and that I loved them. Right before we stepped out of the door, everything went silent as all of our phones simultaneously went off with the warning. It was terrifying. My father is ex-military and he just sat down. My mother, who has terrible anxiety, sat next to him. They said nothing. My friends and I shared a glance at each other, sat down, and they each called their family to say goodbye. It was surreal. After everything got confirmed as a false alarm, we still went to the beach. Most surreal experience I've ever had. Sounds so horrible. That whole thing was so crazy. I thought I'd be relieved I was with M family. Not getting to say goodbye really is a big fear of mine. Many years ago before my mum died, we agreed to always share a hug, kiss on the cheek and actually say I love you every time we met and left. We did that for many years and when she died I had no regrets or unspoken feelings. Leave every encounter with your love expressed. It's not too late. Red heart. My mum and I have a secret code word we use for I love you and we'll always be together and I dread knowing I won't hear that word one day. I'll likely hear it and not even know it's the last time I ever do. I'd go outside and wait to die. I'm not gonna deal with that it. Yeah, anybody remember the firefighters from Chernobyl? I'll take vaporization over taking a week to melt into a flesh puddle. Thank you very much. I'm sorry, what? What do I type to look this up? Because that's caught my interest and wouldn't mind reading more on that. You might want to type Hisashi Ouchi on YT to learn some more about nuclear damage and melting skin. That pool man. What doctors did to him, what essentially just torture. His cells were already dead. He was legitimately a living corpse. They might be referring to the scenes in the show Chernobyl. Congrats, you've made it to the end. You're a beast. Like and subscribe for more r/ask Reddit content. It's free, so why not just do it?